You know, we use it every single day. We plan our whole lives around it. The calendar. But have you ever stopped to think about it? Because this simple grid of days and months, well, it has a secret history. And let me tell you, it is messy, totally illogical, and absolutely fascinating.
Let's start with a really simple question. Why is our ninth month, September, named after the number 7? I mean, think about it. Septem is Latin for 7. Octo for October is 8. Novem, 9. Decem, 10. So why are they our 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th months? Did someone make a massive 2,000-year-old typo?
Well, the answer is no, it's not a typo. And the real reason for this crazy mismatch, it shows us that our calendar isn't some perfect logical system we might imagine. It's actually a historical artifact, a relic, cobbled together over centuries by powerful gods, ruthless ambition, and just pure chaos. And today, we are going to dig into that story.
Okay, so to solve this first mystery, we have to travel way back in time, back to the very beginning, to the legendary founding of Rome and its first king, Romulus. Now, Romulus needed a way to organize time for his people, right? And his solution was, well, it was brilliantly simple, but also deeply, deeply flawed.
So this was it, the very first Roman calendar. It only had 10 months, it only lasted 304 days, and it was all based on the farming cycle, which makes sense, right? It kicked off in March with the spring planting and wrapped up in December after the harvest. But wait, what about those 60 or so days of winter in between? What did Romulus do with them? He just ignored them. Yep, they were just this unnamed, unorganized black hole of time. Winter didn't count.
And this right here solves our first big puzzle. See, when the year starts in March, Quintilis is the 5th month, Sextilis is the 6th, and boom, suddenly September, October, November, and December are the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th months. They're named perfectly. So, mystery solved. For now. Because you see, fixing that weird winter gap was about to unleash a whole new level of chaos.
All right, so along comes the next king of Rome, a guy named Numa Pompilius, and he decides, you know what? We can't just ignore winter. That's ridiculous. So around 700 BC, he tries this major reform to make the calendar more accurate. He was aiming for order, but what he accidentally created was the perfect tool for political corruption.
So what did Numa do? He added 2 new months to that blank winter space. He gave us Januarius for Janus, the two-faced god of beginnings, and Februarius, a month for purification rituals. This created a 355-day year that lined up pretty well with the moon. Awesome, right? Not quite. Now he had a brand new problem. A lunar year is about 10 days shorter than a solar year, which means the seasons would slowly start to drift out of whack.
The solution they came up with was actually pretty clever. They created this little extra month called Mercedonius, and the idea was you could just slot it into February every few years to get the calendar back on track. But here's the crucial question. Who got to decide when to add this month? That job fell to the Pontifex Maximus, Rome's chief high priest, and this person was not just a religious figure, they were a hugely powerful politician, and that is where things start to get really messy.
Yeah, this is the point where the calendar literally became a political weapon. Think about it. A magistrate's term of office was 1 calendar year, so if your political allies were in power, hey, why not declare an extra month and give them a few more weeks in the job? And if your rivals were in charge, nah, we don't need an extra month this year. Let's cut their term short. It got so bad that by the time Julius Caesar came along, the calendar was a total disaster. You had summer festivals happening in the middle of autumn. Time itself was completely broken.
So who steps in to fix this mess? None other than Julius Caesar, who was the Pontifex Maximus himself. He knew this system was a joke. So, after he won his civil war and was basically in charge of everything, he decided to perform the ultimate power move. He was going to fix time. And let me tell you, his solution was drastic.
To get Rome's calendar back in sync with the sun, Caesar had to make a one-time adjustment, an adjustment so massive, so huge, that it would go down in history as the Year of Confusion. So, just how long was this one crazy year?
445 days. That's right, the year 46 BC was 445 days long. Caesar just crammed in an extra 80 days to force the seasons back to where they were supposed to be. Can you imagine how confusing that must have been for everybody living through it? But it worked, and it created the Julian calendar, which is the direct ancestor of the one we use right now.
But even with the math fixed, the political meddling with the calendar wasn't over. Oh no.
Now that the system actually worked, Roman emperors saw a brand new opportunity. They could use it not just to organize time, but to build a monument to their own ego, their own power, their own legacy.
So first, after Caesar was assassinated, the Roman Senate wanted to honor him, so they took the month of Quintilis, which was his birth month, and renamed it Julius. That's our July. Well, his successor, the Emperor Augustus, couldn't be outdone, right? So he had the very next month, Sextilis, renamed in his own honor, and it became Augustus, our August. I mean, these guys literally carved their names into time itself.
And this right here, leads to one of the most stubborn myths about our calendar. You've probably heard it. The story goes that July, Caesar's month, has 31 days, and the vain Emperor Augustus couldn't stand his month being shorter. So what did he do? He supposedly stole a day from poor February, taking it down from 29 to 28 days just to make his month, August, equal to Caesar's. It's a fantastic story of imperial ego, but is there any truth to it?
Nope, not true at all. And this is a perfect example of how myths get started and history gets rewritten. This whole story was basically invented over 1,000 years later by a scholar. The actual historical records are clear. The month of Sextilis already had 31 days back when Caesar first fixed the calendar. Augustus didn't need to steal a thing.
So, let's recap. After all that chaos, the ignored winters, the political games, the year of confusion, the emperor rebranding, we're finally left with the Julian calendar. And that calendar, with just one tiny little tweak in the 16th century, is pretty much the exact same one hanging on your wall or on your phone today.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that every single time you check the date, you're looking at a piece of ancient Roman history. You're seeing their gods, Janus in January, Mars in March. You're seeing their most powerful leaders, Julius Caesar and Augustus, in July and August. And you're seeing the ghost of that original 10-month calendar in the out-of-order names from September to December. It's not just a grid, it's a living artifact of an entire civilization.
And that leaves us with one final kind of wild thought. The Romans immortalized their most